I'm Shane Nyland, and my co host is Blake Musser. And these stories you're about to hear are from Weapons Company, 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, 1st Marine Division, about the events surrounding and directly from the mouths of the people who were in Ramadi 2004. This is part 2 of our interview with Blake Pepper from Mobile Assault Platoon 3.
I don't know. I got a cool photo of all of us. One night mission, we all put like face paint and stuff on. That was still in June because I think I took the photo and like everyone else wearing face paint and stuff. So
yeah, that was in June. I do remember that photo because Conde was still in it. So yeah,
yep.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of other stuff. There was one thing that nobody else has mentioned. We'll see if you have any memories of it or not. Did you do anything during May when they had those guys that were trying to swim across the river? Were you guys out there helping search?
Yeah. I mean, that was the longest 2 days ever. No sleep.
Yep.
Like we were out there patrolling. I remember hitting probably 2 or 3 different like winds to stay awake. Man, yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah. So were you up and down the riverbanks or where were you at?
Yeah, we were on both sides. I remember that was the first time we went on the north side of that. We crossed over the bridge, and because that wasn't really our AO, but we went over there.
Yeah, technically that was. We used to joke that the Marine Corps band was the one that was patrolling that area. It wasn't. It was a combined Army and Marine unit that was out of Blue Diamond.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But that's where most of the rockets and mortars that were coming from. I remember being on that bridge, and a couple times we actually shot a javelin from that bridge. I don't remember who shot it, but yeah, they actually shot a javelin. I got the photo of the impact of the building afterwards with a crappy camera. But yeah. Oh, another cool thing is talking about javelins is the time that some idiot parked or his vehicle broke down right in front of combat outpost. And so we weren't sure if it was, laced with anything. Yeah, that's when Corporal McKenzie was tasked with shooting that sucker with a javelin. And I got the whole thing on video. I jumped. Somehow, I guess they were fine with it. I got out of the turret and went down like right next to him. And like I had my camera, I videotaped it. And I just remember it like it makes this funny like noise. Like it just comes like poop, and then it just the freaking jets just, and just seeing that live was like crazy. Like the whole missile just like pops right out, and then it just, and then I went like this with the camera, and then I aimed it as this, and just the explosion. You see the front hood just flying like about, I don't know, 50, 70 some feet up in the air. And then I was taking video as we were passing. I'm like, oh, this thing's like got smoked. It was great.
That's awesome. I didn't realize you got a video of that. That's cool. I do remember seeing that video when we were over there. I didn't know who had taken it. I think I thought it was Colonel North's crew, but I guess not.
Well, that's the other funny stuff. I don't know, just messing around in the hooch, I guess. A lot of time, I think one time we had like all the Lance corporals trying to grapple some of the corporals. And I remember Shelton, like tall, lanky, long arm dude. And I was a pretty good grappler. And I was like, I'm not going to let this dude win. So I don't know if he had a hold of me or something. And that was the one time that I actually like drew blood in combat. It was like I scraped like my hand or something like that while we were wrestling on the concrete. And I'm like, yeah, of all the time, all this bullets and bombs, and like I draw blood by wrestling in the hooch. That's about it. So.
Well, during one of our other conversations, wasn't there somebody that got their nose broke while playing the volleyball or whatever?
So that was in my platoon. That was Cohen. He broke his jaw.
Yeah.
Didn't he get sent home early?
He got sent home early because his jaw was broke through and through, and he couldn't eat or drink. I mean, he could kind of drink, but he was having a real hard time.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in a combat zone with that
That hard motherfucker refused. We tried to send him home for days until finally, I think it was Rake Brandt came over and was like, "You don't have a choice. You're gonna get an infection. You're gonna die."
Wow, dang. You know, just our company as a whole, like we really had a lot of fun together, like different platoons and stuff. Just kind of we had little competitions, like map 3, map 2 would always, play some volleyball or dodgeball. And then
Right.
I think all of the platoons ended up, doing a bunch of stuff together. It was kind of neat.
What did you do in your downtime to pass time? If you had downtime, it seems like a lot of people felt like they didn't have much.
I remember I had a CD player and I had some like bunch of burned CDs. I don't know if I had a book. I might have made them before I left. So I listened to a lot of music. I know Corporal Vigil actually had a laptop there. So
He did.
like it was sometimes that I'd go get some burned CDs and like, I think I made some like mixed CDs like off of his laptop just to kind of
making combat mixtapes, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I went to the gym. That was a kind of a good stress relief. Yeah. Just heck, it didn't seem like we really had a whole lot of downtime while we were there.
Sure. You probably had more than you could remember, but it just doesn't stick out, right?
Yeah. Now, one thing that people might remember me for is my mom would send boxes full of candy and food and stuff. And so
that's cool.
The funniest thing is I always kept like a box, pretty good sized box, on top of my ammo crates in the Humvee, like especially like when I got the armored Humvee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I literally had a box sitting right there. So I was always giving candy out to like Iraqi kids or any other, Marines. It was just kind of funny. I never was issued any grenades. So I always had candy stuffed in the grenade pouches.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, they kind of called me the candy man because I was always had, candy on me, and as I got it from my mom. So got a sweet tooth.
I'm always amused by if someone does have a good luck charm. Did you have one?
No, not really. One thing I wish I could have brought home is like I kept a casing from every single like major firefight that we had. I had it in my flak jacket, but they told us that we weren't going to be allowed to like bring any brass home or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I had to like write the dates on them like on a Sharpie, and then like I took a picture of it just so I could, still remember it. So I was kind of bummed. I really wanted to take those home with me, like every single, like 50 cal, and even like the Mark 19 casing, like just the empty. Yeah. But
cool.
Yeah, not really any good luck charms, I guess. I never been like big on jewelry or anything. I mean, yeah, I didn't have like any kind of religious medallion, but.
Did you guys, no, I know we went on some pretty long runs every once in a while, taking out to like Takatum and whatnot. Did you, I'm sure you guys did too. Any of those stick out to you?
No, I mean, yeah, I remember going to them, just kind of sitting around doing patrols and stuff. But I think the best thing that we looked forward to is like getting to go to the chow hall right next door.
Junction City. Yeah.
Junction City. Oh my gosh, man. They hired all those Filipinos to work in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And man, that food was amazing. I remember we'd all go in, we'd all be like drenched in sweat, walking in there all dirty, and like everybody that his station was there, they'd be kind of like looking at us, but then like they'd just like let us do our thing because we knew that we were actually like the real ones doing jobs out there.
Yeah.
We're gonna have two of our combat replacements for Sledgehammer on here in a little bit, and they have a great story with that one, where an Army sergeant major tried to tell them that they couldn't get chow because they were too dirty or something. I guess Sergeant Major Booker just blew up on them. It's a great story. I'm not going to tell it because it's not mine anyways, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, of course.
So.
I remember hearing some grumblings and some like officers might, but then I think that was when like our platoon commander was like, all right, just let them eat. Like we literally been out on patrols all day. Just leave us alone, basically. And then, just another instance of like we were on Camp Blue Diamond. I remember we were just sitting there chilling, waiting for the higher ups. I don't know what we were there for. Then there was like one or two Army officers, might have been like captain or higher, walked up to us and were like, they expected us to salute.
Yep.
When like we were like, we're in a combat zone, sir. Do you want to get shot? It's like I didn't do any I didn't like confront him or whatever, but I was like there in this vicinity, and we were like, I don't know, this guy was taking such a huge offense that we weren't saluting him. Okay, good luck. I guess you must not leave this base at all.
Also interesting, like, again, I don't know Army doctrine. I never served in the Army, but it's Marine Corps doctrine not to salute in a combat zone. Like, it doesn't matter what the situation is.
Yeah.
So it's weird for them to not understand the difference in culture.
Yeah, and the fact that he had like shiny brass on too. I'm like, I know most of our officers got the blacked out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Or they didn't wear it. I mean,
or wear nothing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because I mean, we all know who our officers are. So I mean, this, real combat or infantry guys. Yeah, and a lot of people like say like, oh yeah, you Marines are just cocky and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I mean, actually, I just consider it confident because we know what we're doing. You have to be a little bit cocky. If not, then I mean, what are you going to do? You be timid,
right? Right.
Like,
the job doesn't call for that.
Sorry, I wasn't trained that way. I mean, yeah.
Now, remind me, when did you come to the battalion? You were late in Okinawa, yeah?
Nope. I was one of the last ones, October of 03.
Oh, okay. So right when we got...
No,
right
actually it was November because I graduated boot camp in like early September of 03. Then I got stuck in SY, and then a whole bunch of us are the ones that we got sent to 2-4. Like, I graduated with Haratsky in boot camp, but he went through SOY like I had to sit in SOY for like 2 weeks because they only took like a group of us.
Yeah.
And so that's why, like, when I, got to 2-4, I was like, hey, dude, what's up? But yeah, and that happened to a bunch of us. They just took whoever because they packed so many of us into SOY just to get us to these units.
Trying to spin everybody up. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's why we only had like not even 3 months to train with the unit.
Very short. And then with the holiday breaks and stuff too, because, some people took time off or whatever. Made it hard.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, that lead up to that deployment was just crazy. Very interesting.
Nylan and I had a little bit of a different experience towards the end of the deployment because we were left seat, right seat. But you would have transitioned over to Junction City right away, right?
Yeah.
Hung out in Junction City for a while for decompression.
Yeah. We were there for maybe a week or two. But did you guys stayed in Hurricane Point for a little bit until 2-5 got there? Yeah,
there was a bunch of us that initially some of the 2-5 guys rode with us, and then we rode with them, and we stayed for about a week with them.
Yeah, I remember. You posted that video of Captain Rapico.
It wasn't me, but I did comment on it because I was. You guys were there, and I don't remember why I was with you, but I was there as well. I remember that explosion because it hit Captain Rapico, but it also burned Pryor.
Yeah, I remember. That was. I don't know who was filming that.
It was Vigil, I believe. I think that was Vigil's video.
I think that was his video, and I was in the gun right behind that vehicle. And when we got back to combat outpost, Pryor was like, man, they had to go treat him because like he had some burns on him.
Yep.
And Baxter, I think, was the driver.
Baxley, yeah.
Actually, yeah. And I don't, and yeah, because Rapico, he was in the VC seat, wasn't he?
He was, and he had his window down. That's why he got really badly burnt. He actually got hit by liquid gas or whatever liquid was in there, but it stuck to him and burned him.
I think it was like another one of those. They just put a bunch of fuel cans, like kind of like the one that I blew up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They really like their fuel cans to, you know, as an accelerant, I guess. But
they got plenty of oil over there.
Yeah.
If they're going to use it for something.
Yeah.
Well, there was a period of time right there around that time, because when Rapco got hit, that was July 14th. And right in the midsummer was when I don't remember what happened, but basically stolen gas tankers were popping up everywhere, and people were filling gas cans and selling fuel as a way to make money, because it was the middle of a war. There was no way for Iraqis to make money. And so during the intel briefs, they were telling us, they're like, hey, there's going to be some of these, unauthorized gas stations, which is literally just a guy with a barrel and a pump, like pumping gas into cars for cash. And they're like, let them do it because it's the only way they can make money. And if they can make money, they won't be an insurgent. And it's like, okay, the insurgents also are just going to put bombs in those fucking gas cans. And they did, right? Yeah. They did it to you, and they did it to this one that hit headquarters platoon's Humvee.
I remember there's a still picture of that explosion. It looks like almost like a demon, like blowing fire, like right towards the Humvee.
Yeah.
I don't know how like he managed to do that, but yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. So weird. This is a weird question, but somebody else was telling a story. Do you remember any time when, and not when people got hurt necessarily, although if they did, that also is part of the story, but do you remember a time with equipment failures or anything breaking or going wrong, and what you had to do to get through it?
I do remember my Mark 19 during right after that explosion. Like I said, I was right by Sergeant Major Booker. We were engaging that building.
Yeah,
I do remember having to. Yeah, my Mark 19 went down actually for a little bit. I had to the rounds, they just weren't seating. The belt was messed up. So I now that you say that, I remember I had to basically climb up there and figure something out. I don't know if they were seated wrong or whatever, but I remember for a time that my gun went down.
Did you guys have backup weapons for that? So we carried a spare 240 just for that reason. If one of our guns went down hard, like it could not be fixed, then the goal, or if it ran out of ammo, we had that too. Then we took it down, we put up a 240.
I think I remember we had at least one, but in the hooch, I think it might have just stayed there, or if we had another. I remember at one point during the deployment, I think one of our vehicles went down, like needed maintenance, so we had an extra gun. So there was only a couple times we ran with like 4 vehicles, I think. But it wasn't very long. No, we didn't have too many malfunctions. Thankfully, we had enough like lubrication and stuff for the weapons.
I don't know where Gunny Merarkey got all the shit that he got, but he had extra. We all had extra lube because of him. We all had extra bullets because of him. We had extra radios because of him. When that Connex box blew up, part of it was extra armor for the vehicles. The other part was lithium batteries for the radios and stuff like that. Part of it was what he had squirreled away.
Yeah.
And he was really mad because it was his fucking gear stash.
I think that was supposed to go to the next unit coming in too, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was going to pass it along. Yeah.
See, another funny thing, since you guys, I don't know if you spend a whole lot of time up on the bridges. You being a sergeant, you didn't have to.
I never went up there. I went up there one time just to see what it looked like.
Yeah, Mustard, did you have to spend time up on the?
No, I was on radios.
Lucky.
I was a corporal, and so I
was. Okay, well, here's a funny story. Like the bridge on the far end.
Yeah, there was a north bridge and a south bridge. One that went, the north bridge went over the Euphrates, and the south bridge went over the small canal that went between the glass factory and Hurricane Point.
Yeah. Well, so the bridge that went towards Junction City.
Yeah, the South Bridge.
Yeah. There was a couple times that they even stuck our docks up there on post just because we were on a rotation. We'd stay up there for
our corpsman went up there too.
I think it was 6 hours shift, I believe. And even now that doesn't seem short at all because Anyway, but there'd be like the card, some like not cardboard, but like plywood, just as a little bit of cover, and dudes would be writing all over this stuff. Like I got a picture of me going like with my thumbs up when a sign right above my head that says "Complacency kills." I'm
awesome.
like, I was covered, but I'm like, just thinking back, I'm like, yeah, just how, being stupid and stuff like that. But, yeah, I mean, we were pretty careful for the most part because we were pretty exposed up there. I mean, you don't really think of like if someone might be watching you through a scope or something.
Oh yeah.
Hindsight, you're like, oh man, especially after hearing like, I guess when we were there, it was that Chris Kyle was over there trying to hunt those, snipers. And I didn't realize this till like after the movie and stuff came out that I remember going on those missions and like dropping off snipers and stuff, not knowing that dude was probably one of them. Like, heck, he probably rode in my Humvee a time or two, and I didn't even know the guy.
I think his missions were in 2006. I don't think they were in 2004. Our snipers that you were dropping off were the battalion asset snipers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he was there in 2004 in Ramadi. I believe so. Yeah. I mean, don't quote me on that, but I think he was.
I don't know. I know I never met him. I met two other Navy SEALs that were there. The only reason why we knew is because we shot near their OP and they made themselves known, and then they came down and we were like, oh, well, we just fucked up your hide. Sorry.
Hey, bro. Yeah. Friendly fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of friendly fire, did you guys have any? Because we had some issues with the Army.
I think we got, not that I remember. No, I think we got lucky, but I definitely heard some issues with the rest of our unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that I can remember. Like I said, lowly lance corporal on a machine gun. I didn't get to hear a whole lot of chatter.
Sure,
that's fair.
I mean, I could from my turret. I mean, I could hear a lot of stuff, from the radio. There was a few times where I had to, if the driver was busy, like I helped it, but I rarely ever like said anything on the radio. That was just because I think our plan was the driver was, they're in charge of the vehicle and the radio if the vehicle commander is away from the vehicle.
Right.
Well, shifting gears just a little bit, did you stay in for 4 years or did you stay in longer?
4 years.
4 years. And so at that point, when we got back to Camp Pendleton or I guess March Air Force Base is where we landed, late September. And almost all of us got 30 days of leave in October. It was kind of like a free leave. Welcome back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what it felt like coming home?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I think I went to like a mall down like around San Diego and just feeling like, man, these nasty civilians, like they don't even know what like what we just did for them, like type of feeling.
Sure.
I went back home and my first I guess run in with shell shock, PTSD, whatever you want to call it.
And where was home for you? Sorry, I hate to interrupt.
Michigan, Western Michigan.
Okay.
Yep. And I went to one of my sister's cross country meets. And if anyone knows how they start a meet to a cross country.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I was just in the field, and then all of a sudden, pow! I hit the deck so dang fast. I turned around. I was like, what? And like my family is like half kind of like laughing, half like, what is going on? And I'm like, I was just getting heated. I was like, dang it. Could they warn me or something? Oh, yeah. That was like right after I flew back, and I was, I don't know, not even like a day. after like when I got there. I was like, man, I didn't have too many issues after that. Kind of just, that's the only one that I can remember.
That's good. And that's acceptable. I think probably at that point, 30 days prior, you may have been, in a gunfight. So
Oh yeah.
it's, yeah, that's good. And so you stayed with 2-4 after the deployment because most Marines don't move around too much unless there's a good reason to. I assume you picked up and moved on with leadership, but just curious, from your perspective, as you started junior but moved to senior, how did the lessons from your experience in 2004, how did you pass those down to your junior Marines afterwards?
Well, we stayed in Pendleton and trained, picked up a bunch of new guys, and then we went to Okinawa. Actually, pretty quick. After it was like February, we all went to Okinawa for about 7-8 months, and so it was a weird like transition. I did pick up corporal like about halfway through that deployment over in Mount Fuji. Actually, I got promoted like with Mount Fuji in the background. Yeah, it was like we kind of all like we were definitely salty, and we could just all of us that kind of came in together. Almost like we just felt like we're almost like untouchable. But I think we definitely felt like we had a responsibility to train up the next ones because we figured we're still going on. We're gonna be sent over next chance we get. Because I know from what I heard that they sent our unit to Okinawa because of how bad we got hit, like all of our casualties and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So they pretty much sent us to Okinawa deployment to regroup and actually have a unit with jungle training warfare just in case something popped off. And it probably is better that we didn't go directly to another combat tour just because how badly we got hit. And so I don't know, there's a lot of new people, a lot of new faces turned over, like just about like all of the leadership, or they kind of moved to different spots. But who stayed? Sergeant Williams, he stayed with us. Everybody else, he was like the most like senior one. They pretty much stayed with our platoon. And I think there was a few other NCOs in the company that went to the Okinawa deployment too. Yeah, as far as training, I mean, we kind of just took it in stride. And Okinawa was kind of boring for me because
I'm sure after that kind of deployment.
Yeah, and so like I found myself trying to keep busy. Like I joined, we got like a softball team while we were over there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they kept us busy with training for sure. I don't know, rifle range, gas chamber, all that type of stuff. And then I think it was just our company. We at some point we took a boat over to the Philippines, and we did some training with the Filipino Marines. That was pretty cool. Like, so we flew into this airbase off of like the Navy ship. We had these little Jeeps that we mounted guns on. They're like way smaller. We landed, we did some like training immediately with them. And then we kind of just stayed there, hung out, like just out in the middle, like in this field, and did this huge training exercise with these Filipino Marines. Awesome. And yeah, just being, and I forgot the name of the mount, like the volcano, but there was like, way back in the 80s, there was a volcano that erupted, and they had to, I guess, all the Air Force people that were there, stationed there, had to like leave.
Evacuate? Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I guess the base was still functioning. I don't know what they did afterward, but yeah, just doing that type of training was really neat. Kind of, kept us busy, I guess.
Sure. No, I know there's talking with a lot of Nyland and my peer group, a lot of us either were EASing or getting orders to other places, and a lot of us had some insanely tight turnaround. So I can't imagine how decimated our ranks would have been looking like early January, especially because everybody left. So
yeah, and I don't even really, thinking back, like how many people, because I really didn't know. I mean, I know other like the companies and stuff. I didn't know like that many of them, but like for our company, yeah, there was most of the leadership like took off, because some of them like came in just before that deployment and didn't have much time left, or they had already gotten extended. Well, yep. And then after that deployment, came back and trained for another one. Our battalions, they actually split our battalion up in '06, '07. Half the units, I think it was Fox and Echo, went back to Ramadi, and then Gulf Weapons and Headquarters went to Barwana. So that was, yeah.
That's a weird split.
Yeah, it was weird. I was kind of bummed because I had a lot of buddies in Echo Company, and just like being like not even knowing what's going on and stuff like that. It's kind of
Were
a
you
bummer.
friends with people in Echo and Golf and stuff when we were in there in 04?
Yep. Yeah, quite a bit.
I mean,
a lot of guys from just infantry school and stuff like that. So
yeah, I was going to say you seem to know their names pretty well, which is again, I know a lot of guys. There was a few of them that we trained with when we were doing our workups and stuff when we first got to the unit, but man, I just really did not. I felt like I did not know the line companies as well, and it seemed like I don't know. It seemed like we were having two different experiences almost, just because we were at different camps and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's why anytime we got to go to combat outposts, but like trying to find some of them, and and like even some of them I didn't really even know till after the deployment. Like, I mean, I knew like my buddy, like Corporal Thomas, he's from Michigan, like kind of home state. Pre-deployment, like I hung out in the Echo like company's like hooch area because one of my best buddies from SOY, his last name's Ogwin.
Mm-hmm.
Dude's from countries all get out from Arkansas, and it was weird because I ended up marrying like a gal that went to school with him. She's my ex now, but that's how I ended up in Arkansas, like because of him, because like we were like really good buds. And yeah, just hearing some stories from what they went through, and like who, like you as Matt too. I know mostly talk about a lot of stuff, like, but as weapons company, like I found out from Thomas, like what platoons from weapons company was kind of assisting different parts of Echo Company, and like some of the 81s platoons were helping out during that same time, and we were just all over the city. It was crazy.
Since you were close with Echo, did you get a chance to, I mean, probably different because you're hearing it from, guys that were there, but did they talk a lot about their concerns? I know we always heard rumors about what was going on with Captain Royer, but I don't know what they said to you since you were close to him.
If it has, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
I haven't really discussed anything. I do remember that there was some issues. Even Thomas was telling me about like when he got hit, and like one of their sergeant just basically just took off and left Marine like who got shot up just pretty much to die. Like I said, I'm not naming like names or anything.
No,
like
no,
that.
and I don't think you need to. It's not necessarily your story, but I was just curious if they expressed their concerns to you since you're technically an outsider from their company. Like, did they say like, "Oh, morale's bad" or whatever? Like we.
I don't know. Like, yeah, maybe after I'm actually gonna go hang out with him on Monday.
For the birthday. That's good.
Maybe I'll get some more stories.
Yeah. After the fact.
Yeah, that's about like just having the connection. Like I ran the Marine Corps Marathon, and there's that the picture that somebody posted. They have like this Blue Mile, like Run for the Fallen.
Yeah.
And they put up posters like along the entire mile. And I don't know how you get on there. Like, I'm not sure, but they said like you can like maybe request some service people or whatever, I guess, like way ahead of time. But I was running, and all of a sudden I see, one of our guys. Didn't know him personally, but I remember like being at the reunion. Lance Corporal Layfield's mom like spoke to everybody, and her story was just amazing. And just to be like so strong, and just so like her and Miss Halal, like after that I like gave her a big hug too. But like I stopped during the race. I literally like was running, and I saw his poster right there, and just instincts, I just like just jumped off the course and just like, I was so full of emotion, like already, like I just knelt down there and like, I don't know, just felt all this weight like down on me. Like like I said, I didn't personally know the guy, but he's still my brother. And that's, who we are, not just weapons, but like all of us Marines, like we would have done that for any of us.
Yeah.
And so for him, and so for him to, I don't know, just felt honored that I could do that. And it was the weirdest thing during the race. I looked, I went to get up, I looked, and like there's this camera guy like taking my picture. I'm like, this is weird. Like I didn't plan this. It was just a spontaneous thing. Later on, I messaged Miss Layfield and told her, I asked her if she was there because there were some Gold Star families like at the end of that mile, like holding flags and stuff.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see if she was there. And so I was like, hey, were you there? And she said no. But then I told her about like her son being on the poster and whatnot. And then I guess somebody that's associated with that organization like reached out to her. And so maybe, I guess this camera guy was with the organization and then sent her the photo because she sent me the photo. He was like, Blake, is this you? Holy cow. Like I didn't realize like someone took my photo and like now she has it. And she was just like overcome. She was just like so happy and proud that like, I was honoring her son. And I was like, yeah, it was just felt even more like emotional, just like being able to do that for, not only a 2-4 brother, but,
That's what it's all about, man. If we stop talking about them and stop doing stuff like that, then they're gone, forgotten, right? That's the worst part.
Yeah. And that's why I was even like, I going to Arlington for sure. Like, cause then I didn't know exactly who all was like buried there. And so like I got, I took a picture of Savage's gravestone. I actually just sent the picture of me to his mom just a little bit ago. And then, Sergeant Major Ellis, he got blown up in 2007. Yeah, he's there. And then there's a couple other guys that I didn't like personally know, but I'm like, it just felt good. Like kind of just spending some time out there. It was really great.
It's very humbling too. You start going out there and you see, I mean, it's just miles and miles of headstones of everybody who's sacrificed from all the wars. And it's, there's a huge section for the global war on terror and they're all in the same spot, like within the same. No.
And what was even like, while I was there looking for some of the other guys from our unit, like there was a mom and dad that had fold out chairs, blankets, and they were spending time with their son. So that was really neat. And like, I even told my wife, I was like, she was getting tired. So she kind of sat down in the grass. So like, I took that opportunity to like kind of go back to some of the guys and, have a little bit of one-on-one. So, but in my head, like I didn't really say much because I'd like, well, I don't know, what do you say to a gravestone or whatever? It kind of been a weird, like, but it's just a reflecting time was great. And I can't wait to go back next year because I already got it planned. I'm running the next marathon. What I'm going to try to do is try to get a couple more Gold Star families or at least like some more of our guys' like posters on the race.
Oh, yeah.
And see if I, maybe somehow they want to come out. Like that would be amazing to like spend time with some of our Gold Star families like that weekend. Really awesome.
It'd be good for them to see. Cool. Yeah, that'd be real cool.
Yeah, the event is amazing. Like, dude, we know how to like. It might have seemed a little inorganized at time, but like there was a bunch of butter bar second lieutenants like almost at every turn throughout the race, cheering you on. Like the streets were like just packed full of people. It was just an amazing experience. The whole thing. I just felt it was just But the greatest thing was like coming into that mile. Like I almost like sort of like hyperventilated a couple times because I was just like, all right, just breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like right after I got up from his poster, I was like, all just, I don't know, tearing up or whatever. And like, there was a lady running and she was like, she said something to me like, oh, was he close to you or I don't know, something. I couldn't answer. I just kept running, but it was just for someone to even notice, like it was a very emotional time.
Yeah.
It was very sombering. Like it's so quiet. Like nobody's just like chatting or anything throughout the whole race. You hear people chatting around and stuff, but like during that whole time, everyone's just like really quiet. It's very respectful. So that was the cool part too.
Well, while I've got you deep in your feelings,
Yeah,
you
man.
feel like talking to Conde a little bit?
Yeah. And we can talk a little bit. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what you remember. I mean, he was in your truck, man. So,
Oh yeah. I mean, just like from the get go, like when I first got to the platoon, like I could tell like he was a leader. He was only like, I think 22, which is crazy to think. But, back in that day, 22 was like seasoned.
you're an old man at 22. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like he was just, I don't know. Everyone says, oh, he was a Marines Marine. I mean, he was a different kind of Marine though.
Mm-hmm.
He could get onto you when he had to, but then he also took you aside and was respectful. There was very little bit of a training period, so that's kind of small to go off of. But man, once we got over in country, like not just him, but like yeah, all of our sergeants were just like had good heads on their shoulders, which was definitely a good thing. Yeah, Sergeant Conde was just.
You have any specific stories where he had to get after you, or on the other side where he taught you something? Either one.
No, well, because when we got there, they separated us into squads, and so the drivers and gunners were in our own squad, which is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
So I was with Sergeant Guard, and yeah, he was a little bit harder, and because he had been over with 3-5 before, so he had some combat experience already. So I think maybe that's why he was trying to be a little harder on us. But yeah, Conde was my vehicle commander, and so. Yeah, most of the time, like in our vehicle, like if we were training or on the drive up, yeah, it was pretty like lighthearted stuff, like talk about normal conversations, just different stories and stuff. That was before we really got into combat situations. Just overall, like, he'd just be standing up in the turret. He'd be walking by, but hey, how's it going? He really looked after. He looked after all of us. That was a good feeling to have for sure. He didn't catch me on the spot, but I'm trying to like generate some stuff.
It's
Yeah,
whatever you can remember. Don't matter.
I'm kind of going off of like some pictures that I have, like him just sitting there like playing cards or like I said, that picture with the holding up the IED.
Do you remember the impact? Do you remember the impact it had the day he got hit?
Oh man. Yeah. I took a picture of his Bronze Star citation too when it was on his rack. I don't know if he got awarded that before or after he died.
It was after, unfortunately.
Yeah, because I have a picture of his empty rack, and we put the Bronze Star citation on his rack.
I don't think I knew that. I remember coming over there, but I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long it stayed up.
Yeah,
but yeah. Well, after he got shot initially, he took only just a couple weeks off. Like I remember he was just walking around, had a bandage on. He took it off a couple of times. You could see the hole that went through his trap muscle. And I don't think it messed up his tattoo, his ride or die tattoo that he had across.
No, it was right above it. Yeah.
But and dude was just always motivating. He wasn't a negative guy at all. that was a cool thing about it. Like just always positive. Yeah, the effect that it had on. So like July the 1st, like that night, like you said, we were out on patrol, the night patrol that whole night. So we were getting kind of tired, and yeah, for whatever reason, like nobody's fault, but yeah, Captain Weiler told us like, yeah, just to go down Route Michigan all the way down to like the Arch, and then just come back, just do one last like ID sweep. And so we were coming back, going towards Combat Outpost, and yeah, all of a sudden it hit. Like I remember, I think Knackers, because he got hit with a piece of shrapnel right in his inner thigh, and so we had to get him out. I think Vigil had like a shrapnel piece like on his wrist or his arm, and somehow the gunner Campos was sitting down, because they at one point they told us to actually sit down.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said if I was in the gun where I probably should have been, yeah, I probably would have refused to sit down, and I probably wouldn't be here. I probably would have been like standing up.
Yeah.
So we took those guys, and then I was still in the gun. So whoever grabbed Conde put him in the back of another Humvee, and then we just like booked it to Combat Outpost. And then I remember being up in the turret, and they took him out, and just him just laying there, like, they're calling a bird in for evac, and just seeing him just like not even be able to, just you can't do anything for him.
Right.
So at that point, I didn't know that he had a shrapnel piece that got him right in the head. That was, yeah. So we didn't know. We thought, oh yeah, maybe they're gonna send him out. So I think we went to Junction City to eat, and then we got back to Hurricane Point is when Captain Weiler came out. And Captain Weiler came out, I think, with First Sergeant Mack, and told us that he had passed in like the bird, going towards, and like, yeah, we just immediately we were pissed. Like, I think Lachard like threw something through like his helmet down, or I don't know. Everyone was just like, yeah, we were just more pissed off than anything that, they got our best guy. That was pretty rough. And then I think I remember you guys came out to kind of like console us.
Yeah.
I do. I remember, yeah, we were bringing our vehicles in, and you guys kind of come out. I don't remember like all of that, but I think, yeah, you're definitely one of them. And after that, guys were just, I think we went in the hooch. Just, I don't know. Some of them cried. Some of them got pissed off. Yeah, that was pretty rough.
I'm surprised you guys went to eat at Junction City, but now that I think about it, I guess you had to take your wounded somewhere. You probably took them to Charlie Med and to go get looked at. You said Knackers and Vigil and.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't remember that. I don't know if we left Knackers, if he flew out.
He may not have flown out, but he might have got, because there was the only place with any advanced medical equipment or any advanced medical training. Realistically, I mean, technically you had our battalion surgeon at Combat Outpost who they could do some things, but a level of equipment was very low. Yeah. But the x-ray machine and all that stuff was at Combat Outpost.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't remember if we left our wounded there at Combat Outpost, but I know like we were already headed to Junction City to go eat. That's crazy. We already like, that's where we were going to go, because we were out all night.
Mission completion.
Yeah. Yeah. That was crazy though. I don't remember. It's one of those hazy fog thing. I couldn't even tell you like a blur. And then I just remember rolling into Hurricane Point and just getting that news. And yeah. That was like the worst thing ever. Yeah, we were really just pissed off.
Well, I don't know where to go from here. Blake, you got anything?
Well,
Oh.
and then
Blake, haha, Blake or Blake.
haha.
They're both named Blake.
Yeah. Well, I remember after I got back from the States, though, I got a tattoo. I got the tattoo with his name on it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Nice.
And then I added to it because we had his combat replacement actually, Corporal Ryan.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was a good guy too, and yeah, he ended up, he got killed with Captain Rapico.
Yes. Yeah. Captain Rapico and Ryan got killed in November, right after we left.
Yeah. So, and I think December of that year, I added his name.
I don't guess I realized that Ryan was his replacement, but that does make sense. So you got Ryan like July-ish?
Yeah, I believe so. Because I think he replaced, well, it was him. And then they also gave us Sergeant Sakaki replaced him too, because we lost Knackers. And then I think Campo ended up going to headquarters.
Campo went to headquarters, yeah. And then and Knackers went out wounded with the shrapnel.
Yeah, he didn't come back.
Okay.
Yeah, he went back to the States. I guess he had a huge gash in his thigh.
Sure. I don't think I remembered that Sakaki had joined you, but I know he went out with several different platoons, so that doesn't surprise me either.
Yeah, no, he was a good guy to join us. It's a good salty guy.
Yeah, Sakaki's good. He's a good leader as well.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I'm sure we can finish up. I mean, I can probably come up with a bunch of other stuff, but
this has been great. This has been great. There's no pressure to push and go longer. That's shit. I think we've been talking for 90 minutes or maybe longer.
No, it's right at 2 hours.
Oh, it's 2 hours. Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
I haven't been paying attention. That's how, when I'm enjoying it, I don't give a shit. I don't know how long it's been.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's always just good to talk to somebody else, some other guys that have been there in the same stuff. Cause I don't get that. I add a little bit, the first 10 years after I got out, I wasn't on social media. I kind of just withdrew from everything, not really on purpose, but it was just, I don't know, different mindset. I regret getting out. Probably, but 3 deployments in 4 years kind of wore me out. And I think I just wanted to move on to the next stage in life.
Yeah.
Then I definitely regret that because I just moved down to Arkansas, went to college, and just, I don't know, seemed like I wasted 10 years of my life. Yeah. I finally got on, did my own Facebook thing, kind of hooked up with a bunch of, Marines from 2-4 on there. And that was definitely a good help because going through some mental issues, a while back definitely helped, just hearing from, guys like you and just some other buddies that I knew, just to be like, hey, don't give up. Just, I'm sure you remember me saying some stuff, negative stuff, and just
sound like you're going through it, man. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe not 100% necessarily suicidal, but I was literally hit rock bottom. Went through divorce, going through all kinds of child, issues and stuff. And it was rough, but now that I've gotten older, this is what helps me talk with fellow brothers like you guys.
Yeah.
And I haven't done enough of that in the last 18, 20 years. And that's why going to that reunion a year and a half ago, oh my gosh, that did so much for my mental health and my heart. That was, even though I barely got to spend time with most of you guys or any at all.
Yeah.
Just being around. That's what I missed.
It's weird how fast that fills up your gas tank, man. We had the same, or I can't speak for Musser, but I feel like that's the same thing because we drove in together. It really was, man. That was good. It was really good. And I didn't realize that it was going to be that way.
Me neither. Cause right after the ceremony, I went up to the Condes and just gave them a huge hug. That was, I hadn't seen them since we had a dinner. Map 3 had a dinner after we got back with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't really say anything to them. I did, but it just felt weird then. Just like, oh, I mean, your son got killed. It was just weird. But like growing older and just like, I told her like, yeah, I was the gunner, and and she always calls him like Kiki or something like that. I'm not gonna say, yeah.
Right.
I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I was his machine gunner. Like, and she's like, oh, I can't remember what she said, but just the full embrace was just like, amazing. And like same kind of thing. Like I haven't yet like told like Mrs. Halal. Uh, um, I think I might have mentioned like I helped get your son. I something like that. Like I helped your son, get back to the state. Like I was the gunner in the Humvee that we took him back, and just that embrace of like, nothing that I didn't need. I don't need any kind of notoriety, but just maybe them like that sense of like he was taken care of. And so that was the biggest thing that kind of, helped me out. And yeah, that's why I can't wait for the next reunion already. Like just, having more relationships and then like being able to spend some more time. Cause I missed the 10-year because I didn't even hear about it. Like it was like the year after I went on social media. I was like, what? Yeah. I would have gone if somebody would have contacted me or whatever.
All right, man. Well, this has been great. I'm going to hit stop and all that. And dude, if you ever want to come back, you're welcome back.
If you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe for future episodes on your favorite podcast service.